put the whole, no, not quite a half a gallon.
No. This isn't quite enough.
So it turns it red.
I have some more.
No, it's not quite enough alcohol. That's okay, but I want to make her some tincture of the jewelweed. All right, now we're going to watch that make. Within 2 weeks, it'll be done. All of the green leaves, thank you. Oh, I gotta have that.
They gave it the red
washed
or with
out.
the yellow flower, the middle of the yellow flower?
Rinse that with some hot water in the cover too, please.
Yeah, just
Anyway,
excuse me, do you go 1 inch above the jewelweed with alcohol?
yeah, you go.
All right.
So this would be up here,
Okay, but no
Okay.
2 inches. should
but
be
I don't
enough.
have a whole lot of alcohol, so we're not. Then
Colt's
when you
foot.
combine them, you make your tincture of the dried, and basically it looks like a miniature dandelion, but it isn't. It's cold foot. Okay? For what? It's used for in your cough medicine.
Makes a giant fur ball.
Actually, it does make a giant, because no. Right? That also forms a colony. Yeah. And this makes a wonderful, wonderful antibiotic sap.
Don't confuse it with bugleweed.
Yeah.
I've done that.
So we can harvest some oil.
And salves is oftentimes used in salves for very sensitive people, like little people and older people. Now you can make a wonderful salve out of the heels of and marry that to calendula flower, and that would feed and
leaves on the stem?
It's a leaf not on the stem, right?
that ragged edge, so it's better.
Comfrey.
Okay, now you see it's got a rib. Where are those hangers that are apart? Yeah, the hanger that's pulled apart. Where did they go?
I put them back together and used them.
Those St. John's wort needs to be under the sun, so bring them around to the side.
You want me to bring them in, Nutella?
Maybe we should just put them in the...
What about the flower part of the cup?
So you don't use the flower?
You don't use the flower.
But do you do the little tiny leaves?
You don't do the little tiny leaves.
Just the big
That's
leaves.
zero, Gina.
Just the big leaves.
Well, no, I did dehydrate this stuff at home, so I guess I did okay.
And so you can take big ones and little ones and kind of marry them together.
Now comfrey is good for what?
Comfrey, anytime. You're thinking comfrey, you're thinking bones and ligaments.
Okay, that's good.
Now, they all need to be turned in the same direction because as they shrink, they'll pull away from each other. Okay? And this is how you want it to look, just like you were drying tobacco. Okay?
Now would you do that with mullein too? Because their leaves are about big like the same way.
You
you
do
hang-
that.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I was just wondering because they're big leaves like that.
But it will stop bleeding that leads to a miscarriage. So these are not necessarily beginner things, but these are things that you should know are in your environment, and they're free. All you have to do is learn to take them. And what we did here
Pineapple
today is pretty much how you handle almost every single thing. The roses are not hung. Those are usually put in a dehydrator. Put them on a napkin, and if you don't have a dehydrator, you can put your oven on 100 degrees, and then put your roses in there and shut the oven off. By the time the oven's cool, they're half dehydrated, so you take them out, bring it back up to 100, and do it again. Usually twice, and you've got your roses are done.
How do you make
I've done that with drying chaga that way.
How do you make the rose oil? How do you make the rose oil?
You
that
have to
different?
compress a pickup load of rose petals.
Pick 'em float.
So
And that sweet sesame, ooh, it smells good.
Okay, now taste it.
Sorry.
Oh my God, anise.
That's the seeds of sweet.
That's licorice. That is good. I gotta get some of them. Nicole, want to try that?
Do it. Burn. You can put the whole leaf right over the burn and put it on with gauze. It's highly antibiotic.
Burdock.
And the root obviously is a blood purifier. These, when they're harvested, when they're ripe, these are actually to be used when there's a need for speed. This is a blood purifier. This is a plant.
She said you always pull it through, and then it clumps together all by itself.
Now, once these are ready to be harvested, the seeds are inside of here. So if they're the least bit damp or glue covered, you make sure they're totally dry. And then once you get a ball, you put on rubber gloves and you take a screen. You'll see those screens sitting there side of the door to the shop. You rub them back and forth on the screen, and it will release the seeds.
Now, is that dry? I mean,
This
that looks
is
dry to me.
Yeah, this
Okay.
is harvested.
What will you do with the seeds?
The seeds are used for speed in the same way the root is. Now, if you think somebody has blood poisoning, you don't use the root. The root is actually very gentle and incremental. The seed is used for speed. It hits your, everything is intensified in these seeds. And so what happens is that it actually hits your body just like that. It actually goes after what doesn't belong there, but it does it in a very, very powerful way.
Good.
So when there's a need for speed, if you should get caught out and you think somebody is getting blood poison and you can't get where you need to go, you see that red streak start to head from the wound, you better find yourself some burdock seed. You make a tea out of it, and you just break the seeds, crack them. You could use a rock or anything, and you use an ounce per pint, which in the case of the seeds is about the amount that you would use. About a half a shot glass would make an ounce.
About a water, pint with water?
With a pint of water, and they would sip it. You do not take it fast, you sip it. And when you sip this, what happens is that it slowly enters the system, but then it goes in. It's very powerful. So it has 3 times the power of the root immediately.
For emergencies,
so you
yeah.
have to bring it into the system very slowly. And so that would be sipping it along. All right, now we're going to look at jewelweed. Low Holton, it has a white jewelweed. Not a white, a yellow flower.
Yellow is the one the girl gave me from down around Bangor.
Really?
Yeah.
The jewelweed?
I'm itching already again. So
My sister got
I've
it
been doing this for
fodder,
6 weeks.
right? So you just split it.
Oh, like aloe.
And
Cool.
and it neutralizes on contact.
Okay.
And that's jewelweed,
This
right?
is
Jewelweed.
I
yeah.
can attest to it.
So you can't use it before the stems are this big.
She's putting it to the test.
No, you can use it as long as you can find it. You can use it. Okay, from the time it comes up. But obviously, the larger it is, the more juice it has.
I'll tell
good.
you what.
This is used in a tincture, and you can also make it a wash, but it won't keep if it's not tinctured.
I'm wondering if the herbalist that we took classes from, my older sister and I, in Newington, Connecticut, knows about the inside of that plant, because she told us to strip the leaves off and boil it and make the poultice with it.
Well, obviously, what you're looking for is the juice,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Now, the fresh juice works immediately,
Yeah.
and you can tincture it, and then it's good indefinitely. So you can go ahead and poultice it if you want to. You can always do that. But the fact is, if you're going to make it and you're going to have it, you're going to need it, and you don't need very much of it because you need to get it in the same hole that the bug just drilled.
Yep.
If it didn't go in the hole, it's not going to work. Now, it follows wherever the venom is and neutralizes it on contact.
Awesome.
It does the same thing for poison ivy and poison oak.
Awesome.
Good.
Now you get that on you. Now there's two different kinds of poison ivy, and one is like a rash. The other one is like open, wet, oozing sores. Okay, you can have one or the other, or a combination of both. Some people react one way, some people react the other way. But this is your antidote, and it's always found in close proximity to where the problem is. Okay, now normally this grows in wet areas. Now I brought it up here and kept it wet for one season. It shed its blossoms because it throws its seeds. They also call this plant the touch-me-not plant because when it's in blossom and the seeds, after the blossom goes out, you touch it and it will explode and throw the seeds. It's kind of fun. We did that when we were kids.
And the flowers are
And
orange,
it's called
right?
touch-me-not because if you touch it, it'll explode. And we used to do that all the time. We thought it was great fun. Anyway, we were propagating. Yeah, we were propagating.
Orange, okay.
Flowers are orange.
The
Yeah.
flowers are orange.
Do they have yellow ones too?
And below Holton, most of them are yellow.
I got some
Okay,
green, blue, and yellow.
good. Jerusalem artichokes.
No downside to it. They'll come back every year. You don't have to do anything to them. They grow their own patch.
So
And
do you
they
eat the,
come up where you don't want them, and you just wait until the fall and pull it up, and you can eat them. And it tastes like a water chestnut.
now Jerusalem artichokes, is it the root you eat or the fruit it actually comes on it?
No, it's the root you eat.
Okay.
So there isn't the downside to the.
Large it is too.
This is eye bright.
This is another
It's
one
the
here?
white
Yeah, that
flowers.
is. I got one at, yep, on my other finger.
shepherd's purse.